Good morning, girlfriends, and happy Tuesday to you all. I hope you woke up this morning rested, firstly. I thank God that you woke up this morning, and I pray that you're listening to and watching of this heart check. Also, blesses your day. Today, I wanted to talk about worship and specifically corporate worship. I was reading my morning's devotion, and this is by Paul David Tripp. And on this particular day, he wrote something, and I want to read it out loud to you. And it says, corporate worship is designed to humble you by pointing out the depth of your need and enthrall you by pointing to the glory of God's provision. And when I read that, I read it again, of course, because there's a lot of words in that one sentence. And I was really zoned in on the word enthrall. What is happening to me in worship that enthrall is the word of use? And what does that mean? So, of course, I went to the dictionary to get Webster's definition of enthrall, which is to capture the fascinated attention. To capture the fascinated attention. So, corporate worship, or the sharing of adoration and reverence, is to first point out the depth of my need, or maybe even my emptiness. But it doesn't leave me there. God doesn't leave us in just showing us ourselves, but He then captures our fascinated attention to His provision of that need. And I thought, firstly, I'm not giving corporate worship enough attention. I am not putting it and prioritizing it enough. And especially during this time where it may be even more difficult to have church attendance, but even putting in place in my life communities where we come together to share in our adoration, share in our reverence of God. And it made me think, okay, well, there is a place that I do go. And on brand, we call ourselves the community. It's a small group of us that come together to express needs, confess sins, encourage one another, which is what Hebrews 10:23 through 25 tells us. That's what Paul is telling to the church there. We are to come together, and not infrequently, but with regularity, to encourage each other in shared meetings. And why do we do this? So that we can be moved from death to life. That's what is said in 1 John 3:14, that we come together because we love each other, and in doing that, we are moved from death to life. So death is just showing us our need, our emptiness, our inability to be life-giving. But life is the provision of God that He gives doubly more great than our need. And I want to encourage you, if you don't have an on-brand, the community group, to build one for yourself. Set up a time with your friends where you guys come together. Find a group in your city, your town, your neighborhood that would be fine with coming together virtually in this time being, and being honorable and being humble and being honest and being open to receive each other with no judgment in order to bring each other closer to life. And I just thought it was so beautiful that, one, corporate worship is not just to point us to God and His grandeur, but it is to humble us first of where we stand, and then capture our attention immediately in that humbling, maybe even dark place, and show us how great our God is. And it makes me think of why I do heart checks, why they mean so much to me, is because the heart, that organ, is, it really warms me when I think about it. And that may be weird to some people, but when I sit in my room at the end of the day and it's quiet and all I can hear is my heartbeat, all I can feel is this pounding inside my body, and I know that I have no way of making my heart beat. I have no way to keeping this body moving. That only God's provision, great provision, is the one that does that. My need for life is met by His provisions, and I am in awe of Him. So I want to encourage you today in the comments below, and I know I don't do this often at all, but I want to encourage you, if you would put one word of your great need that's met with God's doubly great provision. It can be a compound word because that's what I'm going to be doing. And my word is life giving. My need is life giving. I need God to be able to give life to situations, to circumstances, to friendships, to things that I think are dead, to things that I feel defeated about, to things that I feel inadequate for. I need Him to be my confidence, Him to be my life giving when I feel that death is what is meeting me in a situation. And I want you to put right next to that word, Father, I worship you. So, life giving, Father, I worship you. Talking, Father, I worship you. Family, Father, I worship you. Finances, Father, I worship you. And really allow yourself to be met by your need and then be doubly met and captured in fascinated attention to God's provisions. I love you, girls. I hope you are encouraged by this word. I hope you're able to comment below. I really want us to build even a community right here and join together in a corporate worshipship about who God is, even in this medium of social media. I love you. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic Tuesday, and I will see you tomorrow.